Welcome to Crafted by Self. If you work with wood long enough, you will have one of those projects that tests your skills, knowledge, and makes you question all you thought you knew. Welcome to my Great Gatsby table, my Moby Dick. It's actually my first commission project. It doesn't matter that the table was requested by my wife, nor that she didn't pay anything for it. It's still a huge milestone. My wife's name is Kim. She told me while looking through some magazines it was time for us to upgrade our formal dining room. I saw the tables that she was looking at and I said, I think I can do better. She said to my surprise, well, get on it. Anyone that's been married for any length of time knows better than to ask, are you sure? Not me. That very weekend I took her to the wood shop. I found a cool place called Clean Slab Customs, located in Salina, Texas. Garrett is the owner, and he is a great guy with tons of kiln-dried slabs of every variety. It's a woodworker's paradise. Going to the wood store is like going to pick up a dog at an animal shelter. They're all saying, pick me, pick me. But this is where the story really begins. I told Kim, you pick out what you like. I splashed water on this slab and that slab so she could see the different colors once they were finished. Finally, she decided on two 14-foot bookmarked Spalted Sycamore slabs. It's a mouthful. I've never worked with sycamore, which is in the maple family, and I've never worked with such spalting in any wood. The phrase spalting, figured, staining, punky, or heavily mineraled wood is really just a nice way of saying the wood is crap. I was excited to work with a new wood species. I mainly work with oak and cedar. Oak is considered a very hard wood on the spectrum. This spalted maple is also considered a hardwood, but far down the hardness scale. I didn't know just how soft the slabs were until I got them home, and parts of the wood would actually crumble in my hands. It took me a few days to decide, okay, this is what you have to work with, so let's deal with it. I used a product called PC Petrifier to penetrate deep into the wood fibers to harden them up. I also used a penetrating epoxy for just overkill. These two products seem to do the trick on the 2.5-inch slabs. I finally thought I was working with normal wood after these two steps. I soon would find out that the wood still had a few surprises for me. My wife's only request was to have the table finished by Christmas. I said no problem. I had almost 3 months. I typically don't work on any project more than a few hours a week. I operate on a philosophy that goes like this. If I can sit down on the couch and watch TV, I can work on my project. Outside in the garage and watch TV in my garage. It works for me. I love sports. I watch Premier League on Saturday and Sunday mornings, football in the afternoon and on weekdays. So I get plenty of time to work on my projects throughout the week. So I thought 3 months, that's a piece of cake. So I thought, remember what I said in the beginning, this was my Moby Dick of tables. Everything I did on this table, I had to do twice, sometimes 3 times or more. Fill in the holes with epoxy before the deep pour took weeks. I couldn't figure out where all the epoxy was going. I would sometimes fill the same hole 10 times with no leaks. I had essentially 8 sides to fill, front and back of each slab and the sides of both slabs. I even had a comment, maybe these slabs are hollow. This is the first time in the build I began to question myself. Can I get this table done in time? I've been married to the same lovely lady for over 31 years. At the end of this video, you'll actually get a chance to meet her. If you know Kim, you know I'm a lucky man. I married way over my head. I think of this table the way I think Kim probably felt about me when we first met. He has a lot of issues, but I can see the potential. I think I can work with him and make him into something special. The more time she spent with me and the more time I spent with this dang table, I began to become obsessed. Kim poured a lot of heart and soul into me than I have with this table. It would be a shame to give up now. I did a ton of research on what the clearest resin with the best UV protection is. I decided to go with Wise Bond Epoxy. I wanted to do something unusual with the pour, and their customer service was awesome to deal with. They took the time to listen to my plan and said it could be done, and to send pics when it's completed. And no, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish. The pour took over 18 gallons and cost nearly $1,500. Kim wanted the resin to be completely clear. I told her clear epoxy is tricky, and I thought adding a little color would be better. I promised her, though, it would still be transparent. The first pour was almost a 2-inch pour, and it was completely clear with no color. The pour went great and is always cool to watch. When you pour clear resin, you absolutely cannot have any bubbles. I sealed the 2 sides the day before and used a vacuum to help reduce bubbles. 30 hours later, I came back with a charcoal black. It was a very light pour. I wanted it to look like smoke had flowed through the table. Some parts were dark, others completely clear with a hint of charcoal. I knew what I was trying to do, but I wasn't sure what I was looking for could actually be done. I'm happy to say it turned out great. I think it's unique and natural at the same time. I couldn't be happier with how it looks. It was really my first victory in the build. I waited 10 days and took it out of the mold, and although I had to use 2 cans of mold release, it was still a pain in the butt. The melamine stuck to many places, and it was a heck of a time getting it loose. I blame it on the wood. The slabs were upset. I had a moment of happiness from my resin pour and wanted to let me know who was still in charge. The next step was to take the table back to where it started. Clean Slab Customs has a CNC machine I can rent time on. The table at this point was no longer hollow and weighed a ton. I have 2 great neighbors on either side of me. John was always available to help me move the wood out into the driveway where I like to do my dirty work. He'd often stop by to hear the latest antics the table was pulling on me as well. My other neighbor is Al. He is my mentor in woodworking. When I get stuck, I often lean on him for advice, and he has every tool known to man. Best of all, both guys are great men, and I'm thankful for such good neighbors. So we loaded up the now 300 to 400 pound table onto my trailer, and I went to see Garrett. He did a great job taking a little less than 1/8 of an inch off of each side of the slabs with the CNC machine. Garrett also introduced me to an industrial woodworking company where they have a huge 53-inch belt sander. Those 2 pieces of work saved me a ton of time and only cost me about $250. That is money well spent. The CNC machine and the sander did reveal something unusual that I've never seen before, nor had the owners of the shop. I had sealed properly both sides of the slab with shellac before I started filling the holes early on in the project. You do this so the black epoxy you're filling the holes with will not stain your wood. But what we didn't know is after the CNC and the sanding took off 1/8 of an inch, it showed some staining from the black epoxy because of the punkiness of the wood underneath the surface. Moby Dick was back. I was disappointed, but the entire table was stained naturally from the spalting, so the few epoxy stains didn't stick out as much as it would with another species of wood. It was the spalted slabs giving me the middle finger one last time. When I tell people about the staining, I ask, what part of the table did the resin stain? They always pick the natural spalting staining. So in the end, it's only a mistake woodworkers would notice. The final steps were adding bow ties and finish sanding. I'm not sure how I feel about bow ties, but in my case, my table absolutely needed them for stability. I had to decide, go with something natural or go bold. The table itself was bold. It has every color in the rainbow. So I decided to go bold. I've never added bow ties before, and it kept me up at night thinking about how I was going to ruin the table putting them in. In the end, I said quit stressing about it and get it done. This was victory number 2 for me. The bow ties turned out great, and I think really added another dimension to the table. The finish sanding took another couple of weeks. I wanted the resin to be completely transparent, so that means a ton of sanding up to 6,000 grit and then polishing. I sanded the wood to 600. I decided to use a new state-of-the-art UV vested hard wax oil. The trick to using the vested oil is you must have an expensive UV curing lamp to dry it. I found one on Facebook Marketplace and negotiated a great price. The finish dries instantly with this UV gun, and for me, I think it'll be a good investment. The finished table is 11 feet long and 48 inches wide. That's huge in river table terms. I searched all over for a table base that would support the weight and have a good look. With the resin being transparent, I didn't want the base to be attached on any of the transparent resin. I found a great company in Turkey, yes, Turkey, that promised they can make what I needed. I think the base is a piece of art within itself. As I reflect on the table, I think it's a piece of art. Art is in the eye of the beholder. I'm proud of the work I've done. It's a huge challenge with lots of ups and downs, but it's my most rewarding build today. When people see it, they love it. Wherever you sit at the table, your view is unique. It's funny, people can't help but touch it. There's so much going on in the wood, tons of colors, bow ties, and depth. People just want to feel it and are surprised when it's smooth. For all those that stayed this long in the video, thank you very much for viewing. I told you I'd be introducing you to the client, my wife, at the end of the video, and this is it. I'd like to introduce you to my first commissioned client, Miss Kim Self. So Kim, got a couple questions for you. Did you know what you were getting into when you said, get on it?
Sort of. You've done other projects before, but nothing like this.
And what made this one different?
Well, first of all, we started talking about wanting a new dining room set. Our old set was 24 years old, and this was now September, and we needed, obviously, we have people over for holidays. We have holiday Christmas party. We have all the family over for Christmas, and so I said, well, that's what we needed. And then you said you could make one. And a dining room table. Obviously, we'd have to buy the chairs and everything else. And I said, well, I don't care as long as you can get it done before our Christmas party.
Yep. So you see me do a lot of projects. Would you say this was tougher or the same as all the other projects?
It was a beast. Mentally, physically exhausting.
Yeah.
My husband, by the way, is the dreamer. He's a visionary and he has all these great ideas, but nothing ever goes as planned, and especially this.
Not with this one for sure. So, odd question. Did you enjoy going to the wood store and picking out the wood?
Oh yeah, that was really neat. Well, first of all, I had something in mind. This ended up being better than what I could imagine. I really wanted something much lighter than what we had. It was pretty much just everything was brown. And I had this really light wood inspiration. So when we went to go pick it out, I said, oh, that's perfect color, right?
I thought it was good too at the time, but it worked out good. So in the end, even though you paid nothing for the table, was it money well spent?
100%. This is something that's going to be in our family forever, and it's one of a kind.
Thank you. So for those that stuck around, if you'll let us know that you stuck around. This is what I want you to say. If you're going to comment on the video, good or bad, I'd like for you to start it off with, how about Kim, nice hair? All right. So if you'll start off all your comments with Kim, nice hair, that will tell me and Kim that you watched the whole video. So thanks for reviewing. Have a good day.